downloaded to my bot server. So I will be getting that one posted, and I'll get this one posted as soon as it is done recording and compiling together. Uh, but it might take a few hours, I guess, is what I'm getting at. But we'll catalog those and we'll get them in the Discord, and if we can get them in the Telegram, I'll try to get them posted in the Telegram. I'm not sure how that works, but I'll check into that. Um, anyways, so I'd like to go over a real recap of where we are. Many of you have been in here this whole time, so this will be the millionth time you've heard it. But some of you, like I said, this is your first time coming in. We did have a small delay with our launch. Uh, that launch was supposed to start on Thursday for public sale. Right before the launch, some stuff was pointed out to us in the community that had deliberately that had to do exactly with actually launching and doing the airdrops themselves. A couple vulnerabilities within the ecosystem that we needed to account for. So we had to make some small changes on our contract to get close that loophole to make sure that whenever we did go to public sale, it was just as seamless as possible and secure as possible. I am excited to announce that on my end, the actual changes have been made, and now we are a little bit ahead of schedule. We're going with testnet and security audit today on the contract itself. As far as launch goes, I think we're still going to go with the same plan that we have in place now. That's what we put out there. That we'll put it for public sale on Tuesday. That just gives us a little bit more time to clean up some other items that we had. A question that came up inside the Discord numerous times is white paper. White paper. Yes, guys, white paper is coming. I apologize to everybody. I've just been swamped. I talked it over with team, and I think the team's okay with this, and I hope the community is as well. What I plan on doing is immediately within the next, probably 30 hours now, I will get a text only light paper out to the community, and then if you give me a couple more days, I won't change the content of it any, but I'll clean it up. I'll make it look real pretty, and we'll go that route. As long as everybody is okay with that, I can stick to that schedule, and I can do that. I'll get a light paper out within the next day, and then as soon as I get a little bit more free time, or if I can work together with somebody, I'll get that to look real pretty, and we'll get it published in a little bit more permanent manner. But
Okay, cool.
yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. We've been holding these AMAs daily just to keep the community informed. We try to be as transparent as possible here and just, let everybody know what's going on. I take investors' money extremely seriously, and I do apologize again about the delay. It wasn't even a, hey, for sure, this is going to happen if you do this. This was just one of those, hey, guys, this could happen if you do this. And just even the slightest risk of something like that, we can't afford that, being that we are a brand new startup. We just wanted to make sure things were seamless. And I think we made the right choice. Like I said, we're ahead of schedule now on where we thought we would be. And I'll probably have some more information to share with the community maybe this evening, if not tomorrow morning or tomorrow's AMA, as far as where I'm actually at with like the airdrops stuff. But I will be starting those airdrops as soon as I finish my testnet and internal security check.
Okay, that's good news. Let's wait and see till the outcome.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and then the very next thing that we've got going on moving forward, right after the drops, or not right after the drops, but very shortly after the drops, are the NFTs. And depending on where we are right now, I'm gonna have to do a regroup with some of my team members. We've all been, running a million miles an hour in different directions. But I think we'll probably be very, very soon be able to share some teaser art with the community just to give you guys an idea of what you can look forward to. Um, I was talking to somebody last night, and I don't know if this was a bit of confusion or not, but I wanted to go ahead and take an opportunity to clarify it. With our first NFT drop that we're putting out, our PFPs, We will release those through uh, like the Binance marketplace itself. We won't actually be releasing those through our own like hosted marketplace site. Somebody asked me about that last night, and they thought maybe that I had said that. And yes, we do have something like that planned shortly down the road, but that will not be with the first drop. The first drop, we're going to put it through a marketplace. Um, if anybody has any more questions about that, I'm open to it. I'm also open to suggestions. I haven't had time to research it from last night till today, but I know PancakeSwap did just drop their PFP line, I think last month, and it sold out like instantly. And I can't remember if they put that out through Binance Marketplace or if they actually launched their own marketplace at the same time. Whenever I get out of this AMA, I'm going to dig in that to myself. But if anybody here right now knows the answer to that, I'm all ears.
I have
Probably
no
not.
idea.
Anyway, anyway, but I'm excited for Binance Smart Chain NFTs. I think that they've had a couple. The network and NFTs have had a couple bad things happen, and has had a little bit of bad coverage, but it's got a lot going for it. And I really truly believe that it's gonna that space on that network is going to rapidly expand this year. And there's no reason why we can't be one of the projects that brings a level of credibility to the Binance Smart Chain NFT marketplace. And I think that I'm up to that challenge, and I'm all for it. I've said many times before, and I mean it. Everything that we do within our ecosystem will stay within our ecosystem. Everything is going to fuel the growth of the investment and of the projects within itself. I don't believe minting outside of your networks and having your base have to spend another token that's not related to your token at all in order for them to get your product. Uh, I believe everything should fuel each other, and you should have a way to work that out, and we do. So, does anybody have any questions about the NFTs or how we actually plan to release that first line? I did just want to make sure that's clear. I didn't want to have people thinking that we will have our marketplace out here in the next like 2 or 3 weeks. That it will not be the case. It'll take a little bit longer for us to have our minting page and marketplace out, but we will be releasing that line through the Binance marketplace.
Is there any like sneak peeks, like what the NFTs are gonna look like?
Yes, yes. Like I said just a moment ago, I need to check with Cody, our in-house artist, but I will. I'll check with him shortly after this AMA about exactly where we are, what we have now, and what I've seen. We got. I would be okay with showing you, but I would need to just check with the team, make sure everybody else was okay with that. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
I actually thought about that yesterday.
yeah, I thought about it too. I was thinking about, I was like, we could probably show them some stuff, but let's just make sure. Yeah, we'll check. We'll talk about that internally. We are really close to that point to where we will just be dropping uh, constant teasers about our NFTs. Our in-house artist is a real artist, guys. This starts off on a piece of paper, and it grows from there. Uh, but it evolves every step of the way. If we can get some of his other artwork out for the public, just so you can see the kind of art that he does, his style, what he's capable of, we're more than welcome to do that. And as well, very shortly, we'll start to release a bunch of teasers on the PFPs that we have coming shortly.
Yeah, that Deadpool that he drew up is legit.
Dude, you're all about that Deadpool. I'm seriously about that
I
Batman.
love him. I know, but yeah, Deadpool's legit. It's clean, man.
uh,
Thank you, guys.
yeah.
That was Cody.
Oh.
All right, and I'm just going to talk about this for a second too. So I actually work with the artist uh, at our regular fiat job, but where our line is down right now, we work a 12-hour shift, and probably for a legit 10 hours, he was sitting there on his paper just drawing stuff up. So I can promise you he's putting the time in. It's definitely happening.
Now, I did kind of up the floor some more general questions about the project. A lot of stuff came in on the past couple AMAs, and some great questions have came up. I think we've provided updates and posts on all of these questions, but a real recap that I'll go into just for some of the new people that have not been around. Roadmap related items. Somebody asked 2 days ago whether or not we had actual plans or whether or not we had just pipeline project ideas. And the the simplest answer is, of course, we have plans. If you look at our roadmap, every single item on the roadmap builds to a working ecosystem. Everything that we do. There's some items on the roadmap, in fact, that I personally wouldn't really actually want them or need them there within the project, other than that they serve a separate purpose down the road. And what I mean by that is introducing a MetaBUSDCoin swap. That's not something that I'm actually personally heavily invested in for a volume increased product. There's a lot of swaps out there that operate excellent, just fine. And I'm not necessarily wanting to compete with them. But I have to introduce a swap function into our wallet in order for me to do some of the other things that we're going to want to do down the road within our VR vault in your VR space, where you will be exchanging different currencies for different items and different NFTs. So if it's on our roadmap, it's on there for a reason. Um, and sometimes those reasons are as simple as, hey, I need to have this so I can have one testnet for whenever I deploy that. And I want to be able to keep that all in house, and I don't want to have to work with like an outside partner during that stage of development. Um, as well, the items that are quote unquote pipeline items, so to speak, those really aren't pipeline items. These are things that we're currently getting developed on right now. You know, our VR marketplace and our VR lobbies, those are currently being built today already. Those have been started since before the website went up. We started building out different spaces and getting an idea of how we can interact with these spaces. There's still a lot of bridges to connect there. I'm not gonna, lie to the community in any way. There's some development that's getting done and that still will need to get done that is breaking the limits on what is currently done in the market. Uh, there's nobody else pushing these boundaries, so to speak. And if they are, they're doing it quietly in closed rooms the same way we are, because it's cutting edge. It's what's happening now. There is no open source viewpoint to look at and say, hey, how am I going to do that? You're going to have to push the boundaries on what you are capable of and what you know can be done. But we are doing that currently right now. It's getting worked out. Those aren't just loose goals that may or may not happen. That's something that is going to happen. We are pushing for that every step of the way. A couple of the other items that are in there that are only in there to push us to the end is like our AR viewer within our wallet. And this will be a wallet, again, that's available on Android and Apple. Um, those AR viewers that we'll be adding into those wallets, we're we're simply doing that to allow the community that is outside of our base virtual community, as far as the actual VR community goes, to be able to interact with some of the products that we are releasing through the VR side of things. You know, have NFTs that they can interact with. I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but if you look at what's currently going on in the marketplace with NFTs, filters, and stuff like that, then I think a lot of people will get an understanding of what we're talking about. We're going to save that for its own key moment whenever I can have a way to be able to display to the community exactly what we're talking about. It's something that comes across much better visually than it does just through conversation. But we will get that done, and we will be doing that in a future AMA. We'll probably wait till after we release, a couple of the base products first. We're going to get our first PFP line out. We'll get our first staking platform out because we'll have to give, dedicated time to talk about both of those things. Those things are both coming out very fast, though. Once we get through those, we'll start to focus a little bit more on the longer, large-term items. Does anybody have any general questions before we move forward about the VR marketplace and how we plan to get there? Okay.
Quick question about the VR marketplace, about the VR AR viewer or VR
Yeah.
viewer. Sorry. Is and pardon me for my ignorance, but is the wallet going to be able to work and display NFTs that are on like the Ethereum chain, the Binance chain, the Solana chain, or the Polkadot chain?
Correct. It will be able to display cross-chain NFTs the same way. It's essentially the same exact thing as a trust wallet, but it will also be capable of having a in-app launched AR viewer. And if you currently hold, and there are some out there on the market now, I don't want to name any other projects, but there are currently projects out there now that have augmented reality NFTs available for purchase that you can buy. You can use them as filters for your face whenever you take your selfies. You can use them to display pictures on the wall, like just if in your own house. This does exist already in the marketplace currently. It's that in itself isn't cutting edge. Not every NFT that you buy is capable of being displayed through every AR viewer. That is something that the team is discussing and working on in the background. Your the current phones that people carry in their pockets now. I don't know the exact percentage of them, but there's a growing percentage of phones that are actually powerful enough and capable enough to process that on the phone side and to actually be able to take an image like that, isolate something, and then display it in the AR environment. But not every phone. So that's just something that is happening all at the same time. Depending on what phone you have now in your pocket, you might even have a dedicated AR system menu that you may or may not even know about. For instance, I don't think a lot of the people know the last iPhone Max came out with a special LiDAR, and that is directly related to what's coming around the corner with Apple's glasses and just in general the near future. And then now you're getting phones with more and more complicated tensor chips, pushing the boundaries on what artificial intelligence is able to do with like a small processor on the hardware side. And that is all going to play into two things. It's going to play into intuitive design. How well does your phone and your assistant actually understand you and get what you want? And it's also going to heavily play into uh, image recognition. And whenever you're talking about, and I spoke about this in an earlier AMA, whenever you talk about augmented reality actually a lot better than virtual reality. Virtual reality, we start with a blank canvas. So you build that space, and that space reacts to a set of parameters that are actually in-house. It's closed. It's a closed environment. Even though, you're setting up your VR space like in your house and your room might be different size than somebody else's room, it's all still closed parameters that we're able to account for. Whenever you go into a real world augmented reality, you have to start focusing on things that are complicated to actually compile all the the end results, like your lighting, the different shade, the depth perception, the different item recognition of layers, like grass and versus the concrete meat and stuff like that. And it gets extremely complicated. So the processing power that's required to have a futuristic outcome that we're all looking for mixed reality is still a ways off. I don't want to lie to anybody. We're still a ways off there. It will happen. I would probably put that timeline closer to like 5 years, though. A lot's happening with the advancements of um, latency for mobile networks, and with with that with that growing more and more, we'll also be able to use like different high-end cloud computing services to kind of make up that gap. And you've seen that already with different services like Google Stadia and different high-end gaming services that are just network based only. That's the type of power that we're talking about for actually running a mixed reality of some sort. I do see that coming, but that's a little bit ways off. VR is here now today, and it will just continue to be a growing market.
So what you're saying is my Nokia C350 is not going to cut it.
No, probably not. Probably not. No, if somebody has like the S20 Ultra, I think that you would be surprised what that phone is capable of, or the Google Pixel 6, and even the new iPhone. I'm not a big Apple guy, but even the new iPhone, they're preparing for some big stuff. It will happen soon.
The iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max actually has its own AR ability to do it. So there are some apps out there that you can 3D map your whole space, and then you can go back and explore it in a 3D environment in that aspect. So it really does have that.
Yeah, and I like for instance, I know even not long ago, it was a few years ago now. I wish, of course, he's not. Wargile's not in here, but me and Wargile, the VR dev, we actually used like Samsung Galaxy S4 a long time ago. Whenever we first started to develop um, some different AR technology, and we were able to do pre-mapping back then. So what what that is like you find an item in a given space. Let's just go with like a lamp. So you hard peg the lamp to that environment through like a GPS node. So, hey, this lamp is here. And then we were able to build different things off of that lamp. And what I mean by that, we were using actual just blocks. So we were just testing like little cubes in the air. And we were placing cubes, and we could build different items. Like you could build a little sandcastle, different things. We were just being silly. But the point is that we were able to do that, and then we were able to test the different parameters on how long that memory would be able to stay in the phone. At the time, the Galaxy S4, it wasn't very long. It was only like a couple hours, but we were able to leave those items into the virtual world, walk away, uh, turn that application off even, or close the application and then walk away, eat lunch, do that stuff, and then come back. And then just through raising the phone up through the viewer, you still see those exact same items that were there. So we were testing the permanence of what we were capable of then. And we've continued to test that permanence from then all the way till now in our own lives, just side hobby stuff that we do, because I think, and I'm not saying that this has a direct influence on our project personally, but I think that you'll see that soon you're going to have permanence computing advertisements within like the the mixed that mixed space. You know, in a cool and a non capitalistic way of looking at it would be, say you had like a historical society in your town or whatever. Um, here soon through the power of web services, without having to add like any infrastructure on the ground, we'll be able to have, and you've already seen this pop up through some of Google's APIs for the augmented reality Street View. But you'll have an ability to like just walk down the street, You turn, and maybe there's a historical house there, and automatically that text about that house and that historical stuff is going to pop up, and it's going to inform you of what you're actually looking at. And that's real world. That's happening now. That's being developed out. You're going to see it as well, of course, in the capitalistic way with like, oh, hey, there's Pizza Hut right there. There's McDonald's right over there. But it's also going to have really cool ways of informing people and helping people, and especially people with the accessibility issues. I think most of the community knows that I have a son with accessibility issues, and I can't just even imagine how much stuff like that is going to help him in the near future and allow him to live a more independent life.
Thank you for answering that question. It was very informative. Thank you.
Yeah, I really went off base with it. I'm sorry, guys. I get excited whenever we're talking about this space. So sometimes if y'all need to ring me
Anytime
up,
we talk about VR,
Well,
just say,
as soon as somebody mentions
you
VR,
know
it's
what?
like, all right, guys, buckle in, we're going.
You know what? I mean, honestly, I'd rather have someone that is so passionate about VR working on a VR component than anyone else. So thank you.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
I know, but sometimes I do get into tangents, and I feel funny about it once I realize how long I've been talking. uh, anyways, does anybody have any? I'm here and happy to answer them. Any questions at all? I know I I feel bad because I wanted to have like a private meeting with Big Henry before we started this AMA officially, uh, but I think he's probably aware right now in his mind on whether or not we're able to make any announcements for marketing or anything on that level. You catch my drift?
Yeah, we can definitely make one announcement. I'm still waiting to kind of hear back from another, but Business Monster is in this chat right now, and he is Daryl Boo on YouTube. He is
Yo,
going to
what's
be
up?
partnered with us.
Yeah, I'm on it, man. Let's get the marketing rolling.
Yeah, for
Sure.
sure. So we've had good conversations with him. He decided he wanted to jump on the team with us, so he will actually be a part of our team. So he'll be making YouTube videos and stuff like that for us. So as soon as we launch and everything gets rolling, we'll definitely have marketing coming. Daryl, if you want to spend a minute and just talk a little bit, kind of introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, so my name is Daryl. I have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm the founder of Lazy Monsters, which is an NFT collection. So basically, for from this side, I have a lot of connections for like big influencers, which probably I can get them on board as well. So in terms of the marketing side, I think it should be no problem. It's going to be, I mean, right nowadays, there's a lot of saturation in the space of crypto shilling on like YouTube, Twitter. So I think a good way to like diverse out is probably getting like non-crypto influencers, which I also do have contacts for. So yeah, we probably might head towards that direction. I'm not sure if you guys are willing to try it out, but if you are, then yeah, get that connection going, and then yeah, we can get that ball rolling, and this one should be a nice one.
I know I can answer that. I'm very open to anything as far as marketing goes because I've been a business leader for many, many years, guys, and I think you would be surprised on how a lot of the times the best results are going with different avenues. It's, if you find something that works, uh, definitely stick with it for sure, but don't be scared to approach something new. I know the last little project I was attached to, some of the community members came up with just excellent grassroots ideas, and not every one of them was pursued by that team. But I took note of every single one of them, and I plan on pursuing all of them and pursuing anything that the community puts out that appears to work with with our image and with what we're trying to project upon the world. We obviously want to stay within that lane, but outside of that, I am willing to try anything that anybody suggests. The marketing money is there, the marketing wallet is there, and we will be doing marketing from the day we launch forward, every single day.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
for sure.
awesome. Yeah, definitely gonna nail it.
Yeah, and I mean that's another thing I don't know if people really have really thought about, but like bringing Daryl in, and just like we brought Bree in, also, we're not just using them for their Twitter or their YouTube. The connections that they have are invaluable to us. I mean, we don't have those connections like they do. So, reaching out to Daryl, hey, we want to have another YouTuber make a video for us. We'll pay for it, whatever. Uh, Having him being able to reach out to a friend of his, somebody that he knows, and being able to kind of just cast a wide net, throw a net out there to reach more people is huge.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we're happy to
You
have you
got
on board, man.
Yes, absolutely. Ecstatic. I know. See, I feel bad because I stay so focused on the dev side of things. But everybody should know, Nick Henry, he is my co-founder. He handles almost everything business related when it comes to the project. Uh, you know, that's I know everybody sees me, they know what I'm doing, and everybody appreciates what the team's doing. But I wanted to give a moment to say, all of us are working hard. It's not just me. There's people behind the scenes that are doing things that really just kind of bolster me, if anything. That makes me look better. I'm not a one man show. This is a team effort, team project. Everybody's putting in the work, and I could not do this without them and without you guys, the community. And it means everything in the world to me that you believe in the vision, that you believe in the project, and that you've taken your hard-earned money and you've taken your time and you've decided to spend it with us. That warms my heart in ways that people can't imagine.
Hello,
Uh,
Cal.
th- yeah,
I got a question for you and Henry. If that's all right.
yeah, absolutely.
I had a question. You brought up the you working in business, and you said Henry was handling the business side of it. I was wondering because based on the roadmap and everything you're saying, it does seem like a really long-term project. Gonna, you got to put in the work and all that good stuff. I was sorry about that. Hold on, Mama. I was wondering what kind of the real world experience you guys have in business for managing people and businesses, getting a product line out, things like that.
Yeah, sure. I can go over all my stuff. I mean, my family has owned businesses for years in the town that I live in. Uh, Once I got older, I ran my family's business for probably 8, 9 years. I handled everything from talking to distributors, running people, like kind of handling like a crew of people, uh, doing the advertising and stuff, doing all that stuff. Like I said, I pretty much ran a business from A to Z. I've done just about everything, but that's not currently what I'm doing now. But I do have that experience. But Chris, you want to throw your stuff out there? Is he still here? Oh no!
Oh,
All right, did anybody hear me?
yeah, I heard you, Henry.
Okay, it looked
Seems
like
like you got dropped.
yeah, Chris looks like he got dropped. But so yeah, so I do have the business experience. I will say that the bigger we get, there will get to be to a point where it will be over my head. I'm not going to lie about that. But we have plans in place to, once we get there, bringing more people on. We're going to be expanding the team. So once it gets to that point to where I feel like I need to step down and take a smaller role, I have zero problems bringing in somebody else and having them take a bigger role. That's just for the good of the project.
Just quick thing. Business Monster said he had to dip, but thanks. Got an urgent business call.
You had to? Oh, I got you. Yeah. Daryl? Yeah, that's no problem.
Hey,
Yeah,
We'll
sorry,
handle
I
it.
have to take a call right now. I'll be on the next AMA, so like just let me know when, and I'll hop right back.
perfect.
All right, well, appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man. You too.
Hey, so my phone died. I'm sorry, guys, but the last thing that I heard was Tabi saying, "Hey, Chris, I have a question for you,"
Well,
and then my phone died.
so he
So
was
what was
wanting
the
to know about
question?
our business background. So
Okay, yeah.
I kind of laid out mine about how I ran my family's business and I've handled running crews of people and all that stuff. I also said that there will get to be a point to where we're too big or we get bigger and that'll start getting a little bit over my head. And at that time, we've already talked about bringing other people in and having them take a bigger role and kind of stepping back a little bit. I know we talked
And
about that a little bit last
well,
night.
and I don't want to say like stepping back a little bit because that's not necessarily the case, but
Right. I
just
guess that's not
bringing
the
on.
right way to say it, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
I would say that the correct way you would say it is there's no reason why down the road, you know, I can remain the the founding officer. Nick can remain the founding officer. We can both be co-founding officers, and as well bring in an extremely well qualified regulations officer, and as well as a CEO that has dealt directly with the financial industry. Um, that's something that I personally don't have any experience in. But as far as business experience goes, I have a small business as far as actual brick and mortar retail location. I had two stores, KCR Electronic Repair and Kentucky Cell Repair. As well, I've had a couple of startup companies that I've worked um, hand in hand with from the start to launch. Some of those being MajorContacts.com, Celeb Calls, which Celeb Calls should be fairly familiar to everybody here. It's not big anymore because we kind of have other platforms that have came around like Cameo that took over that space. But at that time, it was real big business. You would get like a voicemail from like Snoop Dogg and stuff like that, and it was a great project. Um, anyways, uh, numerous others. I'll be putting out my LinkedIn out there as soon as possible. I um I was the chief technical officer for Amusement Supply Company. It's the largest secondhand amusements company in the United States that's based out of Prospect, Kentucky. And what I actually did for them was program all of their amusement rides. These might be carnival rides, mechanical bulls, roller coasters, different things like that. I've worked for Style Tech, that is a PLC programming company that works with the automotive industry, that works hand in hand with Rockwell Automations. So they do things like program machines that work in factories. So these machines might do anything like run conveyor systems. They might be lathes. They might be welders. A lot of that programming is just Visual Basic. It's just setting parameters and stuff like that. It's not extremely complicated, just to be honest. Same with like the amusement stuff. A lot of that's just parameters. It's just you're writing Visual Basic code. Um, uh, Many other things. I am going to get my LinkedIn updated and get that out there. As far as the crypto projects goes, the only one that I am able to actually name publicly is the Burger Burn. I'm of course still attached to that project some, and outside of that, I do have other experience with some other projects. I'm just not at liberty to say. Um, Currently, I do still have a contract with a company called Champion Conveyor Company, and the contract is like a subcontract. So they hold the contract itself, and it's for Hitachi Astemo, and I do the work and run the team for them. So I am head of operations for that division, is what my actual title is. And they pay me directly, so I'm on their payroll. So I'm not. It's not like a private contracting company that I have. I work directly for them. They are the contractor. I hope that answers that question. And and like I said, I'll get an updated LinkedIn out. I haven't used my LinkedIn in years. I do think I used it last whenever I was working for amusement supply company because they had me going on the road and meeting a bunch of different people and stuff like that. So that helped facilitate some of those things. We had to do like conventions and stuff, and weird carny life stuff. Just to be honest with you, I am. It was a really fun job. My children loved it because there was a giant fantasy factory that was a couple towns away from where I live now that we would go to, and we would be able to experiment with all the cool new amusements that they had and stuff like that. But outside of that, the job itself was not the best situation. So after I contracted them with them for a few years, I decided to go on and do other things. I still get calls to this day though about fixing fixing something, either like a mechanical bull or like an eliminator or something. And as far as my little region here in Kentucky, I think I might be one of the only people that still programs a lot of those carnival rides and stuff like that. And it's not, like I said, it's not difficult to do. It's just I happen to have the knowledge like in my head, stuck in my head. I can't get it out. So I can quickly look at one of those machines and figure out what's wrong with it, how to get it up and running. So I'll still get calls to this day like, hey, I'll give you a ridiculous amount of money if you'll drive here and get this working for me before we have to start up this weekend and stuff like that. And sometimes it comes in handy, so I'll do
Thank you.
it. And again, just to touch base on that, as far as like what we've talked about for down road, as long as we are able to handle everything that we have going on, we are still going to be the face and the forefront of the team, and I'll never disappear, and Henry will never disappear. We'll always stay involved and be involved. I know not everyone likes to hear like, hey, at some point you might want to actually add like another, you know, chief executive officer, so to speak. But that's just it would. We're just envisioning if we got to the point to where we have a lot higher of a market capitalization, and we're trying to facilitate uh, different things on the regulatory side. I think everybody should be aware now in the crypto space that there is going to be a change. Probably not in the next year, I would say, but maybe in like the next 3 years, things are going to start to get regulated a lot differently than they are currently. It has to be done. Um, People like me hate it. I don't want to see it happen. I love DeFi. I love the open marketplace. I think that knowledge is power. Everybody can empower themselves, and uh, decentralized finance can actually raise everybody up. I'm a firm believer in that. That being said, I know how money works. I know how power works. And I know how people start to behave once they start to get scared. And crypto is a disruptive force that's scaring a lot of people. So I think everybody should be aware that, the regulatory side of things are definitely going to be coming around the corner. And if you're not already thinking about and preparing about them now, then you're going to find yourself in trouble when that time comes. So that's something that's already been uh, in conversation with all of us.
Yeah. So I guess whenever I said I would take more of a back seat That was a bad way to say it. But yes,
Correct.
we'll
That was a
definitely continue
terrible
to
way
be
to
around.
say it.
That's on me. That's on me. I'll own
I ain't taking no back seats from nobody puts baby in a corner.
that. Right. I'm just saying we'll get to the point where if we need to bring somebody in that's more qualified, I have no problem doing that. Like
Yes,
whatever is
correct.
best for the project. I want
Correct.
the project to succeed more than I need to be like a CEO. You know what I mean? That's kind of
Absolutely.
what I was getting at.
Yes, and that is the truth. Everybody does feel that way. This is honestly a community project, guys. That's why we did the fair launch the way we did. I want everybody to feel like they have ownership in this. They can make decisions. They can be a part of the journey. Of course, we're going to guide the ship, but we want everybody on the ship. And I'll set the path on where we need to go, and I'll carry us as far as I can, as fast as I can, and that's the best promise I can make. Anyway, so not this was not clear to everybody, but whenever I got on this voice chat, I had just picked up El Nepal. It's a delicious Mexican restaurant in my hometown, and I was about to eat lunch. So I will give a few more moments to answer any questions if anybody has them, but I am excited about this lunch. So please, please ask your questions now.
Look, you wouldn't have went into a VR rant for 30 minutes.
I know, man. I know it's my fault, but I couldn't
No,
help it.
you're good. Like Manny said, man, to hear somebody that's so passionate about it talk. But anyways, any more
That-
questions?
Okay, so real quick recap. Contract's fixed, guys. I still need to do my test net and security audit, and that takes multiple people. That's just, not one set of eyes looking at it. I have people who are signed off. They have NDAs and they are bonded and secured. So they're looking at it as well, just to make sure that everything is up to par. But that's done. Hopefully I'll give some more announcements on that shortly, but it is ahead of schedule. I wasn't actually expecting to be at that point until uh, tomorrow evening. So I'm excited that we are where we are with that. I'll still keep the launch day the same day. I don't want to move it around again. I don't think that looks good. Uh, if anything, that gives us more time to finish some of the other key items. Like I said, I wanted to get that white paper out. I will have that out. Give me like 30 hours. Within the next 30 hours, I'll get that out. I'll be the first one to tell everybody here. I am not in any way like an English major. I am not the very best writer out there, but I think I'll be able to get something out together with like my wife and have her review and make some edits, and then I'll put that out in front of the community and allow anybody to give suggestions before we put it in a like firm, permanent format. Um, and I think that's the best way to go personally, uh, and the fastest way for me to be able to get that done. I do want to have that done, before the launch. I don't want new investors that are coming in that aren't familiar with community and aren't familiar with the project itself and what we're about, to not have that information. So that is a priority for me, and I will get that accomplished. Other than that, oh, and then of course the other part of this was the big news was the Daryl Boo. We did get him on board, guys. He is going to be a great help to us. Any extra form of media or content that's coming out that the team itself's not actually having to personally focus on. And what I mean by that is, for instance, I know that we need a strong presence on YouTube, for instance, but I personally don't have time, and the current team members that we have right now don't have time to be going out making and editing our own videos. So we're just going to outsource stuff like that to the professionals that are already in that space. These are people that know how to get it done. They already have a community that they can reach, and we have multiple coming. Of course, some of you that are here now, even in this AMA currently, all come from the mobile trades army. He's going to be putting out videos for us. That's like that's an unofficial partnership. That's not anything that's like inked out. That's just he's my boy. We're cool, and he likes the project. I've been an avid fan of his for a long time, so he's a cool guy. Um, and we'll have all that stuff rolling, and we'll be able to use that content that's getting produced for the project, and we'll be able to get that out even through other avenues and other sources. Put that same already produced content in front of more eyes through shilling and through different competitions and contests. And that just saves the team time, money, and allows us to just facilitate all that stuff getting done faster. I'm excited about those results, and we will have more announcements shortly, I believe,
I
on
hope.
that front.
I hope so. I'm still
That-
waiting to hear back from the other guy. So I would like to try to get his stuff nailed down too, so we can
yeah,
announce it or not announce it. I mean, whatever route we decide to go, our talks are good. I mean, everything
yeah,
sounds good. Just it's a big decision for him, just like it's a big decision for us. So everybody wants to feel like it's a good fit for each other. So
yeah, correct. That's very true. It has to be a good fit for everybody involved, and we have to have a good feeling about it. Uh, working with influencers can be difficult sometimes. You just want to make sure that they share the vision, they share the, the the love of the project itself, and that they're going to be able to represent it in a way that feels organic and feels like it's actually going to capture and retain new investors.
yeah, and
Anyway,
just from messages like Daryl's enthusiasm, like it feels good.
yeah,
Feels
for
like
sure,
whenever he starts talking about the token, our project, our vision, like he'll be into it, which is great. More organic. It'll
for
be
sure.
really good.
It's hard not to be in a project like this, man. It's a good project.
Oh,
Um,
oh, for sure.
all right, guys. I think I'm gonna hop off here, eat some food, get some of that human fuel going, and try to get some more work done.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording now.
All right. So 6 hours later, that'll be compiled.